So many of you will have been watching the videos that I've been doing with my members over the last couple of months. And I'm delighted today to be interviewing a really special lady, Louise Yexley. So, hi Louise, thank you for joining us today. Oh, thanks Louise. I've heard some really great things about your interviews, so actually to be able to be interviewed by you, I'm really looking forward to it. Now, Louise, I've known you a long time. And you're often known as the networking queen. Have you always done networking? Yeah, I'm not sure about networking queen, although I have met loads and loads of people obviously over the years. So quite often people come to me and say, oh, you must know somebody that does this, and quite often I will, or I'll know somebody that does. No, not always done networking. So when I first started my marketing business, which was called Best of Hitchin, I then started to look for networking groups and Googled networking in Hitchin, and there was a group of women in business actually launching that month. So it was meant to be, and I went along to the meeting really nervous because I'd never done anything like that before, and I joined the group, and that was 14 years ago in May, so 14 years. So you run 5 groups of women in business, is that right? Yes, so I've got groups in Hertfordshire and Bedfordshire. I've got Stevenage, Hitchin and Letchworth, and then I've also run Sandy Biggleswade Group and Luton Group in Bedfordshire. What's your background then? What did you do before WIBN? Oh, before WIBN. So my background, I suppose, is as an HR advisor in a corporate company, and I did upfront employee training and development and mainstream HR for staff that were based up in the north in Lostock, but also in Valise in France and the Strand in London as well. So used to do a fair amount of travelling. And then my husband had a bit of a midlife crisis and said he didn't want to work for anybody and was looking for franchises, and came across the Best Of, which was at the time an online marketing company. So with no experience whatsoever, Keith and I signed up, and we ran that business together for 10 years. And it was before Google and Facebook, or Facebook was just kind of starting. So we could safely say that if you advertise with us, we could put you on the first page of Google, which, you know, isn't going to happen nowadays. But so we started to do that, and then we ran networking, our own networking events through Best of Hitchin. And at the same time, I joined Women in Business, so I could introduce lots of businesses to the group. And then 2 or 3 years after I joined, the lady that was running the Hitchin group decided to move on, and I decided to step up and started to launch more groups and started to grow my network. So yeah, that's a little bit about my history, although I do other things as well, like 3 Counties Expo, and I've got some side hustles again. I think you kind of just meet lots of people and end up doing lots of different things. So having worked alongside your husband for 10 years then, how was that? So as I said, I ran Best of Hitchin with my husband Keith for 10 years, and yeah, in the main, I think it was a really good thing. You know, I suppose that the problem is knowing the boundaries of, you know, when you're working and when you're not working. And when you work together, they cross over quite a lot. So, you know, we'd be sitting having lunch and then we'd start talking about work, and that's the hardest bit, I think. Or we'd be in a meeting and he would say, you know, what do you think, babe? And I'd like, oh my God, we're in a meeting. You can't call me babe in a meeting, or Luby, which is his pet name. So But I do think it kind of brought us closer together. You know, we had more respect for each other in terms of what our skills were and who took the lead in what meetings, and certainly running that business took us out of our comfort zone. Now, there are lots of networking groups popping up all over the place, and obviously Women in Business has been running for 15 years this year, and you've been involved for 14 of them, I think. So I'm guessing it's really easy just to run a networking group. Yeah, so 14 years of being involved with networking. Yeah, you know what? It really drives me mad when people says, oh, you know, I'll just start up a networking group. It's really easy. All I've got to do is put some dates out. And it's not like that at all. You know, to do something well, you need to put the effort in. And, you know, I'm lucky to have met loads and loads of people over the years, but you can't take your foot off the gas. You know, you've always got to be out there. You've got to be in contact with your members, and it's not just a case of turning up once a month and physically leading the meeting. You know, you really got to, you know, it's a proper business. It's a business. So people that just say, yeah, I'm just gonna, you know, start this one up, come along, and I just go, oh, you know, do it properly. So no, it's not easy running a networking group, but hopefully people watching this video will, you know, give me credit, hopefully, for running, you know, various networking over the years, and that it does work. Okay, so what's one thing that you really love, and maybe more, one thing you really love about what you do? Oh God, what do I love about what I do? I mean, there's loads of things. That the fact that I love it when it works. So when a member says, oh God, you know, I've got a really good piece of work from that, or I'm working with so and so, we're going to do something together, I just think, yes, get in there. You know, it makes it all worthwhile. I mean, it's not all plain sailing. I've had to deal with some, you know, upset people stepping on each other's toes in categories, and you know, maybe falling out and stuff over the years, but in the main, I think, you know, meeting the people, so many interesting people that you meet, and I've done lots of different things that I would never have done had I not done networking. You know, I've won awards, I've run events, I've stood up and spoken at events, and I've jumped out of planes and stuff for charity with people that I've met through networking. Yeah, so I think that's the key thing. The people and the collaborations is probably the best thing. And as I said, you know, obviously I've known you for quite a while. Do you think that networking is right for you know, all types of businesses, or maybe you know, the person running it has got to be a particular type of person? Well, obviously, you know, you're quite shy and retiring, and clearly you don't have a problem speaking to people. So I'm guessing different kinds of networking works for different types of businesses. Within Women in Business, obviously, we have a real wide range of business women. Some are employed, some run their own businesses, and real extremes of businesses as well. So, you know, we have solicitors, we have Pilates instructors, we've got serviced offices, nurses. Again, as I say, such interesting people. And I would say, never think that your business isn't right for networking, because it's all about, at the end of the day, who do you know, and who do the people that you know, who do they know? So it's really kind of, yeah, try it. I would say come along and try it, because you never know the contacts that you're going to make. And it may be that it's not at that meeting. You know, if people come along and say, well, I came to a meeting and I didn't get anything from it, it's like, okay, you need to do it more often. You need to build up a relationship with somebody. So yeah, I would say yes, there's a place for networking for every type of business. The person who's running it, well, you know what, even within the WIBN network, the associates are all very different people. Some are more business focused and structured in the way that they run their meetings. It's very formal. Personally, I'm a very touchy-feely person, not physically, of course, but I do want it to be right. So I'm not just about, you know, getting people through the door. I like to make sure that everybody's included, that everybody's really looked after, and that I continue that not just within the meetings, but, you know, outside of the meetings as well. So I don't know that it takes a particular type of person to run a networking group, but I think you do need to have people skills, you know, to actually connect with people in the first place. What's been the hardest thing with lockdown, do you think? You know, when people first went in back in March, and, you know, we decided that we would take the WIBN meetings online, you know, how did your members find it? Oh gosh, yeah, so lockdown, I think like many people, you know, it was a bit of a shock. I remember we were at our Luton meeting, which was the last meeting 2 or 3 days before we went into lockdown, and we were kind of going, yeah, you know, I think this is all a bit weird, it'll all be finished in a month, and that type of thing. And all of a sudden it was like, don't go out, stay in your houses. And my members, like many people, kind of went into a bit of a, oh my God, you know, how's this going to affect us? Some businesses, some of my members' businesses, you know, are still not back working at all. So I've got some beauticians, the hairdressers have just gone back, and it's really affected people in different ways. So, you know, the whole kind of homeschooling, not being able to work, not sure what to claim for. I mean, no different to a lot of people, but I think that's why we kind of grouped together quite quickly, because I think we just helped each other through it, you know, and even just talking about it, you know, we only meet once a month, but we've done extra things and we've kept in contact a lot more, just to keep each other's morale up, I think. So, you know, we do have our Friday morning coffee lounges, we have regular WhatsApp messages and groups, and we have a very active Facebook group for our members as well. So I think being part of a network has really helped a lot of members deal with things as they've come along, and we've been able to talk to each other and think, yeah, you know, I feel like that as well, or and ask each other's help. And business has continued, you know, business is still being done, so so that's a really good thing. Now, I know one of the things that you've been doing is a regular Friday coffee lounge. What's all that about? Do you just get together and have a coffee and a natter, or is it business related at all? Yeah, so the coffee lounges. So I just decided that it would be really good just to get together. So I have 5 groups, and obviously you're a member of an individual group. However, there are opportunities within my network to be able to kind of cross refer and cross network, even from members outside of your own group. So the coffee morning lounge is on a Friday morning. It's a members only session, and basically, yeah, we do bring coffee, and we've met new puppies and kittens, talked about hair appointments, you know, we've talked about all sorts of things, but it's 45 minutes maximum, and then we have an expert slot in it. So a member each Friday has taken a 10 to 15 minute slot, and they've educated us in different things. So we've had all sorts of business topics, which has been brilliant. Some about technical apps and things that can help us, how to market in a pandemic. We've talked about using your phone to take video. We've had skincare and facial types. We've had all sorts of things, some really, really interesting topics. So it's partly pleasure, have a natter, make sure everybody's okay, but also, you know, educate us as well. So they've been really well received. And actually, even when we are able to go back face-to-face networking, I think it's something that the members would really welcome to continue. Okay, so I guess really finally, so what would you say to somebody who is considering coming along to a networking group and thinks, you know, I don't need to network for my business? What would you say to those people? So having done various forms, run various forms of networking over the years, I know a lot of people find it really nerve-wracking coming along to a networking group, either face-to-face when we're able to, or even online. I think it's because they're not sure what's expected of them, you know, and they feel like they've got to pitch to people in the room, when actually it's just like I'm talking to you, Louise, you know, it's just telling your story. What do you do? What are you looking for? It's not, I suppose you are pitching, but you're not selling to somebody. And the hardest thing, I think, is making that decision to go and do it. So I've contacted a lot of businesses, and you know, they'll go, oh yeah, maybe I'll come along next month, or yeah, not really sure it's for me and my business. And I just think it is any business, you know, coming along to a networking event is a way of marketing your business, and it's a real thing because it's face to face and people are getting to know you, the person behind the business. So I think you just got to pull your big knickers up, really, and get on with it. You know, come along and see what it's about. And even if you don't come back again, at least you've tried, you know. But I think, and you'll certainly look at all the testimonials that my members have given me on LinkedIn and Facebook and Google My Business, and they all really recommend the networking group. So I would just say, put your big girl pants on and come along. Okay, so what is the best way to get hold of you? Because obviously you've got a number of hats on. You also run Three Counties Business Expo in Luton. But with regards to women in business, what is the best way to get in contact? Yeah, so the best way to contact me is just by emailing. So louise.yexley@wibn.co.uk. We've obviously, you can go to the website. I've got a Facebook page, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Although I'm not that good on Instagram, but you can certainly connect to me there. And you know what? I'd really love for you to come along and just try us out. You know what? It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. I wanted to interview you for a while, and you know, it's great to hear your experiences. So I really just want to thank you for coming on today, telling, you know, people what to do, and hopefully we'll speak to you again soon. Thanks, Louise. Yeah, it's been really great talking to you as well, Louise. You know, a lot of people have said you're really quite natural interviewing, so, and you are. So thanks for making me feel really comfortable. Thanks, Lou.